guys, it's Mandy from Mandyleeplays, and in this video I'm going to do a pickups. Okay, so I'm going to do a pick. You know what? I gotta take care of that. Alright, so I'm going to change the topic of this video because this needs to be addressed, and that is the backlog. I have them, you guys have them, so we're gonna have to, figure that out. In this video, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks to hopefully battle your backlog one by one so it doesn't seem as daunting and you can actually enjoy your games in the process. With these helpful tips, hopefully you and me, because admittedly this is about me too, you can beat your backlogs as well. So with all that being said, let's get into the video. Alright, so the first tip I want to say, hold on, let me take off this bracelet, it makes too much jingly noises. So the first point I want to make is limit your purchases. There's this thing in the gaming community, well in any community, and that is called FOMO. FOMO means fear of missing out. So you have this innate fear that something's gonna go off the shelf, so you want to buy it now, then and there, even though you're probably not gonna play that game anytime in the future. I suffer from it, a lot of people do. Now, this could be because of a lot of things, especially if you're a physical collector, you don't want something to just disappear and not have reprints. That's a big thing, especially if you're a content creator, you just gotta keep up and keep up when you realize you don't have to keep up. You could wait, and patience does pay off when it comes to gaming because more times than not, these games will go on sale. So not only will patience grant you more time for your backlog, it will grant you more money in your wallet because they'll probably go on sale. So just know your limitations, what you could buy then and there, so it can help you with your wallet, and it can help your mentality when looking at your backlog, so it doesn't seem as daunting. Now, as a physical collector, there are some resources to help you gauge if a game is going to be rare or not. I have a friend called Emily. She does a bunch of videos on different stores and if they're doing reprints, so if you want to look into that and kind of gauge what games might be reprinted or not, so I highly recommend you guys check her videos out. She does really good stuff. Now, there's a misconception that Nintendo games don't go on sale, but recently there's a lot of games that go on sale from Nintendo. They're first party games too. Now, a lot of them arguably are on eShop, but still, Nintendo games do go on sale. The gaming industry does reward patience if you're willing to wait. And trust you me, I bought games that I paid full price for, and then they go on sale and I'm just like, why? I could have saved so much money that way. But back to the backlog thing, it's not only money-wise, but just consuming all these games and putting in your shelf, it's just a lot. And unless you are very adept into that kind of environment and you can still beat your games non-stop, then by all means, buy what you want to buy when you want to buy it. But for me and other people, limiting your purchases does help with your backlog. Now, the next point I want to address is know your limits. Now, this means if you're not a person who could tackle, a lot of games in circulation, don't have a lot of games in circulation. A lot of people are like, man, I need to finish this game. But then I'm like, wait, who the heck is timing us? Nobody's timing anybody. Now, I get it because of social media, people post their pics of finishing games and stuff, but you're not them. You're yourself. And you gotta know your limits on that. And that bites me in the butt because I think I'm this all-powerful game master sometimes, when in reality, I want to enjoy my games one by one, and I can't do that with so many games in my circulation. And then that gets me back to this whole rut of feeling like, man, there's just so much, I get so overwhelmed. But then I realize I have to know my limits. Now, that being said, as a content creator, my limits have been tested, I guess. Like, I could play more games than I did before I started my channel, but still, I do have limits, and you guys should do too, because feeling overwhelmed and stuff, that's not the enjoyment of a game. That's gonna hinder your progress. Now, for me, my limit is basically, I like to have two main games in circulation. They could be RPGs, but not 2 RPGs. That's a bit too much. Now, one could be a bigger RPG than the other, but rule of thumb, do not combine 2 RPGs unless you're really good at that, because it's gonna be overwhelming. So I like to have a big RPG that I'm sinking my teeth into and I'm enjoying it. But in the side, I like to have a more lighthearted game, something that I could stream with you guys. And if you can, add a third game. That could be like a Mario Kart or a Monster Hunter, something you play with friends that could get you away from those other games, but it doesn't really clutter your brain with too much info dump. So know your limits. If you can only do one, then do one. That's fine. No one's pressuring you. And I battle this every time because I'm like, man, I'm only playing one game and I feel like I'm missing out on a bunch, but I'm enjoying that one game, right? This is a bit of a tangent from the topic, but it needs to be said as a content creator to hopefully other content creators. You always want to have a game that you play that's not for content. And it's very important because sometimes you could lose sight of just enjoying the game. I know. That's not saying that I don't enjoy the games I do content for. I do enjoy the games I do content for. But you need that one game where you could just de-stress and unplug even from your content. So always have a game that is not for content. You might talk about it later when you want to, but it's something to relax to. Alright, tangent over. Back to the main topic. And also, if you find yourself getting too into one game that you just can't play any other game but that one, my friend Kendo had a good idea, and he recommended throw that game in the back of your closet so you can never see it again. You see this game? You just chuck that puppy in your closet. Next point on this list is genres matter. I touched upon it on my last point, but genres really do matter because each genre has their own time commitments. RPGs are notorious for this one. They tend to take longer. Now, a lot of people don't really like longer games because they just want to get stuff done and on this rush mode. And I understand people have lives, jobs, kids, all that junk. But if you want to play an RPG, you're gonna have to play it right. So for that, I recommend you do not double RPGs. If you put another one, be it big or small, it's gonna get really overwhelming and they're gonna overlap. So, to counteract this, play different genres. Another good thing that I like to do is make lists. Lists are very important. Now you may be thinking, Mandy, isn't making a list kind of counterproductive when you see all those games right there and you're just like, oh my god? While it does seem overwhelming at first, I will tell you that crossing off a game is the most satisfying feeling ever. Now, a lot of people like to use spreadsheets, but I really don't. I just like to use a traditional Word document, like a Google document, have all the games I'm playing, all the games that I'm going to play, and all the games that I beat. If that sounds familiar, it should, because those are the formats for my Mandy journals. Now, I do Mandy journals. Well, I haven't done one in a while. I am going to do one. But I do Mandy journals mostly to keep me accountable for the games. So I could cross off the games that I beat, I could tell you the games that I'm currently playing, and I could tell you the games that I want to play in the future. Even if you're not a content creator, making a list does help. Even if you're not showing it to anybody, it still keeps you accountable in your own head, and it just makes stuff more organized. So that's a little practical tip for you guys. Check it twice, see if they're naughty or nice. I like to put if I enjoyed the game, if I finished them, so I could take that and put it into my videos on which games I enjoyed this year, whatever. It all ties down to me keeping a list. And I have to have a solid list because there's a lot of games I play. But I like to just jot mine down on my phone as I go. Now I do have a more, elaborate list, but this one's for, write it down so then I could put it into the elaborate list. So it doesn't have to be anything special, just to have a visual of things you're doing. Now the next tip, play what you feel. This is really important. There are moments where I try to get through a sci-fi game when I wasn't really feeling it, and I don't have fun playing it because I'm not really feeling it at the time. Play what you feel. If you want to play a thick story, RPG, adventure, then play that. Pick the one you want and play it. Doesn't matter if it came out last year or whatnot. Play what you feel. If you're really excited for an upcoming game, wait for it. Don't play another game and then that game comes in because there's a disaster. Wait for it. Play something a little bit smaller in the meantime. But the point is, play what you feel. A good example is when I was playing Mass Effect. Yeah, I could have gone from Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, finished the trilogy, but after one game, I didn't feel like playing another sci-fi game. So I took a break from it. And that's perfectly good. A lot of people didn't like that because I streamed the games, but for me, if I just forced myself through all these 3 games and this epic adventure, I'm not going to do it justice. So pace yourself, my friends. It is a marathon, not a sprint. You're going to burn yourself out, basically. Hopefully these tips helped. I know they helped me, and hopefully they'll help you guys because there's a lot of games going down the pipeline, which I do love. I love me some good games, and 2023 is looking like a big one, especially if you're in the RPG genre. But beware as well because it could get pretty overwhelming. If you like this video, please hit that like button. I would appreciate it if you found it helpful. If you have any tips of your own that you would like to recommend, things I missed, please leave them in the comments down below. We have reached 5K and I'm very, very grateful for that. It's been a long ride. We didn't hit it on New Year's, but close enough. You know, round it up a bit. We made it, and I feel like it's been a journey. It's been a journey. I've been on YouTube for about 5 years, so I'm so grateful to have hit 5K, and I can't wait to hit more milestones with you guys. 10K, here we go. So with all that being said, hope you guys have a beautiful rest of the day, and as always, play a good game. Peacefully. Peace, peace.